What's up, guys? It's story time. So today I'm gonna tell a story about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months now. I'm not sure. I got robbed at gunpoint, and this story is honestly, it's kind of entertaining, and that's the reason that I'm telling it. What's up, guys? So today I'm going to tell you a story about how I got robbed for $900 about 2 months ago. And the reason for this story, honestly, is well, a little entertainment value, obviously, but also for you guys to understand how important it is to be precautious, take caution when in this business because you never know the type of people that you will come across. Um, Especially, I learned a lesson, obviously. But when you're meeting people, make sure you check out their Facebook profile because, unless it's like grandma who's, posting videos of her grandkids all the time and stuff like that, you really want to take caution and meet people at least inside of like a McDonald's or a Starbucks. Even some police stations have like online seller meetup spots as well. So definitely highly recommend that. In my situation, I probably should have taken more caution because when you're dealing with somebody who their Facebook name is Hood Rich and their Facebook profile is a photo of them holding up a bunch of money. I mean, maybe maybe take a little precaution with somebody that has a profile that seems maybe a little sketchy. So yeah, so the story starts, I saw that this guy had a Apple Watch Ultra, brand new in the box, still sealed. For I can't remember what he listed it for, but I messaged him and I said, "Hey, I'll give you $400 for that Apple Watch Ultra." And he said, "I've actually got two of them." And I was like, "Okay, well, I tell you what, since you got two of them, and I can get two for one trip." I was like, "I'll do 900 for both of them." So he was like, "Okay, let's do it." So I said, "All right. Looks like you're coming from about 2 hours away from me. I'm about 2 hours away from you. So let's meet in the middle. We'll each drive an hour." And for some reason, I've out of all the hundreds of transactions that I've done, I've still never done this ever since then or before then. And what I'm speaking of is before we started driving towards each other towards the meeting spot, I asked him to share his location with me, and I'll share mine, because that way we can both see that we're both on our way, and that we're not gonna flake on each other, and that we don't drive all that way for no reason. So I asked him to do that, and he did, and I shared mine. And like I said, I've literally never done that before, and I still haven't ever done that again. But that'll come as that'll be relevant in a minute whenever I finish telling the story. So, I'm driving to him, and as soon as I get there, he gets out of his car and he comes over to, beside my car, and he's parked at like two spots over that way. And he brings Apple Watches to me. And what I used to do before this situation happened is I would let the person hold the money, and I would say, like, here, you hold that while I check out the devices or the device. And the reason I would do that was because, I like to take my time and make sure that I investigate the item very well to make sure there's nothing wrong with it. So, in my mind, it made sense that if they're holding the money, they probably feel pretty comfortable with me taking my time and, going through the device. And, they maybe they're scared that I'm going to get in my car and drive away with it or something like that. So that's why I did that. So I took the $900 and I said, "Here, man, you hold that 900 while I check out the watches." And he's like, "Okay." So it took me maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I was just running the serial numbers of the watches, and the whole time he's like holding my money up in the air, like making sure it's real and stuff. And so, anyways, I run the serial numbers, and I noticed that the serial numbers came back as having "Find my iPhone" or "Find my watch on." And basically, what that means is that there's an iCloud account attached to the watches. And with the watches being brand new, sealed in the box, there would be no way for there to be an iCloud account attached to it. So what that instantly told me was that these watches were fake, because what they do with the fake watches is they take serial numbers from real Apple watches and they put them on the fake ones. So that way, if you put it through the Apple website, it'll tell you that it's a legitimate product. But if you run the serial number through an IMEI/serial checker, then that's where you can see that there's actually an iCloud account attached. So if I were to run it normally through the Apple website, it would have just said like, valid Apple Watch or whatever. Well, anyways, as soon as I ran the numbers and I saw that there was an iCloud account attached, I was like, hey man, this is coming back as something's not quite right with it, so I'm not going to buy them. And as soon as I said that, my money went into his pocket, and I was like, hey man, I'm not going to buy these. I'm like, give me my money back and take these watches. He's like, "Oh no, I don't do business like that, bro. I don't do business like that." He's like, "Them real. I don't sell no fake shit." And I'm like, "Okay, man." I said, "You know what? Maybe my system, maybe my research is completely wrong. Maybe like the system that I'm using is glitching out or something like that." I'm like, "But just to be safe for myself, I'm not going to buy them. But maybe if I can get my system fixed and it'll come back correctly, then I'll buy them, later." And he's like, no, 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 I don't. And, he just kept going. I kept going back and forth, like, give my money back, dude. I'm not buying these watches. And eventually, he's like, no, they're real. Let me show you on my phone. Let me go grab my phone from my car real quick. And I'm like, hey man, you can do that, but give me my money and hold these watches, and then you can do that. And of course, he didn't do that. He started walking back towards his car, and I assumed he's probably going to try to drive away with my money. So I followed him over towards his car door, and I'm trying to hand him the watches, and I'm like, hey man, take these and give me my money back. And as soon as he sits down in his car door, with his car has tinted windows, and mind you, we're in a very busy parking lot, right beside a Starbucks, right beside a strip mall, right beside like a Longhorn and a Arby's. I mean, a very busy parking lot. But as soon as he sat in his driver's seat with the tinted windows, he pulled a gun on me, and the only person that could see the gun was me and him, because he had the tinted windows, even though we were in a busy parking lot. And so whenever he pulled the gun and pointed at me, I kind of froze for a second. Um, but then I just said, I was like, dude, are you really gonna kill me over this right now? I said, okay, that's cool, man. I said, as soon as you pull away, I'm getting a video of your license plate and I'm calling the police. So thankfully, he did not shoot me, obviously. And whenever he pulled away, I got a video of his license plate, and I instantly called the police. I was telling him, kind of like the gist of what happened, and then I gave him the license plate number, what his car looks like, and like the general direction that he went in. But then I remembered that on Facebook we had shared our locations, and I was like, I wonder if it only lets you share it for an hour and then it expires. I was like, I wonder if that's still on, or if maybe he turned it off. So I went and checked it, and he didn't turn it off. There was still 9 minutes left. So I was actually able to tell the police exactly which direction he was going, which turns he was taking, until they found him and they pulled him over and they arrested him. And immediately, while I was on the phone with the police, a car full of people who were in the Starbucks parking lot drove up to me and they were like, "Hey, do you need witnesses?" And I was like, "That'd be awesome, yeah." So the police came and they got witness statements from them. Um, and within 2 hours of sitting there with the police and the witnesses and documentation and stuff like that, the at first the police told me like that the money was going to be taken for evidence, and like I'd have to go through like this big process and get it back, and it'd probably be quite a while. Well, I was able to speak with the lead of evidence, who just happened to be on the scene, and he asked me, he was like, well, how much money was it? And I said it was $900. And he trusted me that it was $900 and I wasn't exaggerating. And he went and got it from the person and brought it directly back to me. And then they took the Apple Watches for evidence. So they returned my money, and they arrested the person who held a gun to me. So it's almost like I was robbed, but then I was unrobbed. I was like reverse robbed by the police. Um, so yeah, and it actually took a while to get any additional information from the police, but I believe it was literally 2 days ago. They sent me an email and they said, "Hey, we finally got around to it. We confirmed that the watches are fake," and which I already knew. But they sent me confirmation and that he was charged with, I think, theft by deception or something like that. But anyways, so that's what happened. I drove an hour, but luckily I actually didn't waste that trip because even though all of that stuff happened, I met a girl literally a few minutes before I met with him. I met a girl who sold me an iPhone 12 Pro Max, and they ended up making, I think, about $250 off of that. So it wasn't even a wasted trip. Yes, I got robbed, but I also learned meet inside of public places, especially if if the person's Facebook profile is even remotely questionable. It's just when you can sit down in an air conditioned place with Wi-Fi, if you need to use the Wi-Fi to connect to the device, and just take your time, and it's just more comfortable. There's cameras around, and yeah, I thought that a busy parking lot was good enough, but apparently it's not. And unless like I said, unless it's like a grandma that's sharing pictures of her kids, her grandkids and stuff, and it seems extremely safe. Maybe I'll meet her at a gas station. But even then, you never know if she got hacked and somebody's using her profile to rob you. I mean, you just don't know. You just don't know. But hey, I'm safe. I didn't get hurt. I didn't even lose any money. I actually made money going on that trip, and I learned a lot. So I hope that this was somewhat entertaining. I hope that this prevents you from running into a situation like this by meeting inside of public places. And yeah, that's all I got. I got robbed. I got unrobbed. Didn't lose any money. Learned a lot in the process. Be safe out there, guys. But don't let this deter you from starting this business because there's definitely ways to do this safely. And I've met so many different people, and that's the only run-in where something like that has happened. And obviously, it would have never happened if I were to meet them inside of a a McDonald's or a Starbucks, or especially like a police station. I believe a lot of police stations have specific meeting spots for this type of situation. So whatever you feel most safe with, to get started in this business, don't let this story deter you, please. If this is something that you feel like could change your life, like it's changed mine, um, pursue it. Pursue it, and just at least get that first flip under your belt, because that's the one. That's the one that'll make your mind go, "Oh, this is real," and yeah. So uh, anyways, guys, till next time, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and see you later.